to go. Let's join our commentators for today's match, Ian Dowie and David Stow.
Thank you, Selina. After a busy old summer, the new season is nearly upon us all over again. For fans, players and commentators alike, football is the game that never sleeps. Tottenham against Inter Milan should be the perfect fixture to continue our summer football fix and to whet our appetites for the months ahead. 19 goals scored in the previous 4 meetings and some memorable moments along the way. We hope for more of the same today. Spurs have picked themselves up and dusted themselves down after their season collapsed in the home straight last season. The spine of the team has been strengthened over the summer in 2 ways: by the arrival of new personnel and with some of the regulars enduring a character-building European Championships. Mauricio Pochettino says the group is older, wiser and tougher thanks to their recent emotional rollercoaster. Today's about fine-tuning fitness. And here are the two sides. Tottenham are fielding a strong Spurs starting 11 with Harry Kane and Dele Alli among a group of 6 players returning from their post-Euros breaks. Kyle Walker, Toby Alderweireld, Danny Rose and Eric Dier all come in as well. New signing Vincent Janssen is on the bench. Victor Wanyama tweeted yesterday citing a visa problem as to why he isn't here. As for Inter, former Manchester City manager Roberto Mancini has selected a side which includes 2 new signings in Ever Banega and Christian Ansaldi, and one of the stars of the Euros in Croatian Ivan Perisic. Harry Kane and Mauro Icardi going through the housekeeping. The two who will lead the lines respectively today and look to do the damage in what is a high-profile end to pre-season for Tottenham, a pre-season in which results have been hard to come by. But today is all about welcoming the likes of Kane back into the fold and getting ready for Everton away a week on Sunday. It's also about some gaining valuable experience. Cameron Carter-Vickers at the heart of the defence alongside Toby Alderweireld. A chance for him to show his mettle, and indeed for some other youngsters on the Spurs bench potentially to get a chance in the spotlight today. It will be Tottenham to get us started. Both sides in their traditional colours. Both sides with a decent following here in Norway as well. And Harry Kane looks to get back in action. And hopefully back on the score sheet for him as well after a tricky summer. A week tomorrow, Spurs will begin their Barclays Premier League campaign against Everton. Inter Milan start their Serie A journey at Chievo 8 days later. The managers will be targeting those matches, but will hope for progress today, along with fitness, physicality and finishing. 3 attributes possessed by the man alongside me during his playing days, Mr. Ian Dowie.
None of them are possessed, but it's going to be a fascinating encounter. And I generally like the way that Roberto Mancini's sides go about it. There's an intensity to it, and I'm really looking forward to seeing that man there, Dele Alli. I think he's a special player. I think he's one of them, Clive mentioned, game-changing, and he does do that. He comes up with special moments. Technically very gifted, great athlete, and that edge is very important to him. So, big season ahead for him. I personally thought he'd have really shone at the Euros, but it wasn't to be, along with Harry Kane, and that'll be something they have to get over very quickly.
He's got that fiery side to him, hasn't he? We're already seeing there. He's trying to make sure he's running the show.
With Miranda and Godin, the partnership they built at Atletico Madrid, absolutely outstanding. You talk about Vertonghen and Alderweireld being probably the best centre-half partnership in the Premier League last year, but Godin and Miranda were absolutely magnificent for Atletico Madrid.
This is a good-looking fixture because of the history of these two sides, and also because both of these teams will play in Europe this season. Inter Milan in the Europa League, Tottenham at the top table in the Champions League. Qualification for those competitions represents real progress for both clubs, and there's a real atmosphere of optimism inside the stadium today and amongst fans of both clubs too. There's Danny Rose looking to pick out Dele Alli. Some of the returning Euros players might just take a little while to get back up to the pace of things today, but they've got to do it quickly with the Premier League starting in just a week. Yeah,
and it's a case of just getting the wheels rolling again. I think sometimes the intensity of this training. I think Pochettino likes to train very intensely. He probably had to back off a little bit, but I think he will need a few intense training sessions. This will be an intense, encounter for sure. You've seen, Jeffrey Kondogbia there, fantastic athlete, brush someone aside and drive up the pitch. It's going to be a good game.
Here come Tottenham, looking to make their mark early. Dele Alli, and for Harry Kane. Used to be linking up so well last season, and a hopeful shove on the way by Jason Murillo, the Colombian centre-half. Not take any prisoners today.
No, I quite like Murillo. He did quite well. Colombia got third in Copa America. He's got a little bit of that about him. Good pace. He matched Harry Kane for pace there. But I like to see. That's what I really like about Harry Kane. That's why I think he'll be one of the best centre-halves the Premier League's ever, centre-forwards rather, the Premier League's ever seen. He loves to run in behind. He mixes his game up so well. And 2 or 3 times already we've seen him run in them channels. It's so important for the way in which Spurs games. It gives space for Lamela, space for Eriksen, space for Dele Alli. Very unselfish player in my mind.
Big season ahead for Harry as well, not just on the pitch but off it. His partner Kate expecting their first child. Top scorer in the Premier League last season with 25 goals. And the season before that, PFA Young Player of the Year. Certainly a man on the rise. There's a man on the fall. It's a penalty. An early boost for Tottenham in this clash with Inter Milan. The Italians unhappy. It was Kyle Walker who tumbled, and the referee has pointed to the spot.
Well, it's a strange one. Well, I'm not sure it is a penalty. I mean, he does catch it, but there's no intent. I mean, it's Ambrosio, I think it does it, or is it Saudi? It's Saudi, I think, that brings him down. I don't really see it as a penalty. If you look at it, does he catch him afterwards? Yes, but I don't think there's any intent. It's a very, very soft one, but wonderful opportunity for them, maybe that hand, Harry Kane, to step up and get himself off the mark.
Well, a strange decision early on in this game, but with 4 minutes on the board, Tottenham have a chance here to grab the lead. It is Harry Kane, and it is a goal. And after a stuttering summer, Harry Kane is back in the old routine. There may have been some doubt about the decision, but no doubt about the finish.
Well, I don't often see him take too many penalties like that. He just goes for out-and-out pace, a bit of frustration, I'm sure, for the Euros coming out there, but good for him back off the mark, and that's very, very important for the whole Spurs squad. Fit and firing Harry Kane transforms the side. I think he can be really disappointed, Mancini. I didn't think it was a penalty for me.
As you say, maybe some French frustration in that strike from Harry Kane. It didn't happen for him at the Euros, but it always seems to work out for him in Spurs colours. With just 5 minutes on the board, Tottenham go 1 up.
Yeah, ideal start.
So in 4 matches and 4 minutes, these two sides have produced 20 goals. When you give a game like this the big build-up, you often fear that you've got 0-0 written all over proceedings and it's your fault for bringing it up.
It is, but we were talking, we both felt the big goals in the game. I mean, it's 1 or 2 challenges flying in. Saudi is playing at left back before he might do, Ambrosio playing right back, and there's been 1 or 2 challenges already in the game. There's a bit of edge to it, and that's Mancini's way of playing. I think Pochettino likes his side to be aggressive, and it's been a bright start for the game.
A bright start, and a goal-scoring start for Harry Kane. That'll blow away some of the cobwebs. Intriguing to see how long some of these players play today as well, the likes of Alli and Kane. Here is Dele Alli. Ended up in a crumpled heap, and it's Christian Eriksen outfoxed in the end by Kondogbia. One of the real talents in this Inter Milan side, just 23 years of age. Missed out on the Euros though because he wasn't selected, hasn't played for France for a year. Just 5 caps to his name. He was talked of as a bright young thing a couple of years back.
This man in the Euros, Perisic, absolutely magnificent. I'm really surprised someone didn't come in. Great ball.
It goes. Nodded out by Alderweireld. And Saldi keeps the pressure on and finds Perisic. Icardi in the middle. Eva Banega joining in as well. And it's Kyle Walker who does the business at the back. And gets a shove on the way through.
And again, it's quite soft, but it's quite clever play from Kyle Walker, who defends really well initially against Perisic. And that'll be a test for him. Kyle Walker, of course, probably England's best player for the first 2 games, and then a little bit like everyone else fell off the cliff against Iceland. But you know, I thought he played brilliantly well. But against Perisic, should be tested. And just making the point, you think, you know, the manner of his performances, Perisic, you'd be. I know it's a huge club, Inter, man. You're surprised. I'm sure the huge fishes in world football didn't come, you know, dangling the rod to see if he'd jump on board. I mean, he's a special player for me.
The Spurs pressure continues here with Erik Lamela. Had a very good goal-scoring season last term. 11 goals in all competitions, his best campaign. Second just behind Harry Kane. He's got a corner there of Brozovic. Eriksen tries to catch into it. It's dealt with in the end, though, by the Italians, although not totally convincingly. It was Banega who tried something a bit clever.
Yeah, I don't know why he tried to. I mean, it was a good little ball from Kondogbia. They're on the break. Looks like a decent opportunity to counter-attack. He tries to back flick it backwards. I mean, it was a weird thing. He could take it in his stride and run forward. So Banega, they'll be hoping for big things. That little bit of something different. He did that very well. Sevilla, of course, and add something to their attacking intent. Certainly, in terms of the goals they scored last year, Inter, you know, probably nowhere near enough. You know, 50 goals, you know, for a side that finished fourth, probably not enough. And it's an area that will be a concern for the manager Mancini.
Yes, Inter Milan finishing fourth last year, which was an improvement on the previous campaign. They qualified for the Europa League group stage, but finished 13 points behind third place Roma and 24 points behind champions Juventus.
And you think of the start that Juventus had in the league. Wow, quite incredible. But Juventus haven't rested on the laurels. Going to sign a certain man from Napoli, so it's going to be interesting. I think Mancini will know that how Inter Milan are expected, and Nerazzurri expected to be at the top of the league and competing for titles. Fourth is just not good enough. It sounds bizarre given how poor they were the season before.
Here's Kondogbia trying to slide it through, but can't get past Eric Dier, who's grown the hair during the summer.
Haven't we all?
Here's Walker. There's Eriksen alongside him. Lovely from Christian Eriksen. Looking for Ryan Mason. So close to 2-0, and a terrific barnstorming start for Tottenham.
Yeah, and once again that man, Kyle Walker, lovely barnstorming, very clever from, and then the weight of pass is sensational. Got to do better, Ryan Mason. I think he's a very talented individual, good passer, contributes. But, you know, in terms of being I know they play as a holding midfielder, but, you know, given the fact that, you know, he's one of the more attack-minded midfield players, he needs to add that little killer instinct to his game. More goals, more assists in the mould of Dele Alli a little bit. I know they're probably different players, but just think more goals, something that Ryan Mason needs to add to his game. Got an awful lot to give to this Spurs side. I really do believe he's a talented lad.
Yeah, 4 goals in 70 Spurs appearances for Ryan Mason. His last one actually came against Italians in the Europa League against Fiorentina. That one, though, looked odds on 2-0 until it arrowed past the post.
It's just funny, it can almost transform your season. I mean, this sounds like Harry Kane. He's got that goal. If Harry Kane hadn't scored today, all of a sudden you're going into the first game under pressure. Now it's a little bit off. That could have just kick-started. It's a silly challenge from Ambrosio. Wow.
He rather dived in where he didn't need to there on the halfway line. Eriksen with his back to goal. It's a pre-season friendly, by the way. Or it was.
It was, yeah.
Ryan Mason starting in the middle of the park today. Of course, Moussa Dembele on the bench, and he's banned for the first 4 games of this new season. So the likes of Victor Wanyama and Ryan Mason will get a chance to impress in those 4 games, you would think, alongside Eric Dier. The fight is on for that spot.
For sure, and, you know, for me, of course, I haven't seen every Spurs game, but Moussa Dembele is a must-play. I mean, I think he's transformed under Pochettino. He's becoming absolutely terrific. He's consistently creative midfield player, but also, you know, does his defensive work. You know, an all-round midfield player, top drawer. I mean, everyone who's been involved with him talks how good he is. He's now really showing that talent for me.
That one just over the line. Last off the boots of Dele Alli. So Inter Milan throw. And Perisic looking for options in the middle. Danny Rose watching it away. Decent running by Brozovic. And Mason there on hand to help out.
Really good tackle from Ryan Mason, actually. Could have been awkward.
Sometimes games against two big teams like this in pre-season can be pretty tight and rather dull affairs. Certainly it's not shaping up to be that way.
No, and I think there's an edge to it. You see there's challenges flying, and I like to see that. You know, you're weak out, let's get up to competitive edge. You know, you don't need to be throwing around yellow cards. I mean, nothing cynical as yet, but there's a real edge to the game, which is very important.
A little bit mistimed, that one from Harry Kane, and that was when Christian Ansaldi got up and said, well, that's a foul. Not the one you gave against me for the penalty.
You know, and you think it's a set piece given away, and a lot of people talk about Harry Kane taking set pieces, and Clive in the studio is a master of what he did in terms of finishing. You know, it does strike me as very bizarre. I can't see Alan Shearer taking wide free kicks, can you? I just wouldn't see it happening. Because he's such a talent in the air. He's probably not as good as Alan Shearer in the air, and that's not criticism, very few were, but he's really good in the air, Harry, and goals going missing in being out wide.
Here's Perisic with a cross, headed away by another man who's terrific in the air, and that's Toby Alderweireld.
Clive mentioned him, he was absolutely terrific. I mean, what's incredible, how good is he on the ball? I mean, I was at Spurs 3 or 4 times last year live. The talent, that crossfield ping that he has is sensational. I mean, he's been a magnificent signing. You understood why Pochettino was desperate to get him and put that extra little bit at the end to make sure he was a Spurs player, and what a brilliant piece of business.
Scoring the Euros, and he has a new international manager now in Roberto Martinez, of course, as Inter Milan get a free kick as D'Ambrosio goes tumbling. Eric Dier making the challenge. Dier and Alli both involved, trying to slow Inter Milan down there. Marcelo Brozovic to D'Ambrosio. Murillo to Eva Banega, who's won the Europa League twice in 2 years with Sevilla. Now an Inter Milan player. And a challenge by Ansaldi. Just signed from Genoa. Ansaldi actually used to play for Newell's Old Boys, which is where Mauricio Pochettino began his career.
Of course, Pochettino linked with and that's now gone, but linked with the Argentinian job, and rightly so.
Here's Carl Walker, one of the players who donned the England shirt during the summer and performed well at times. It was just unfortunate the Iceland game, we're all concerned really, apart from Iceland of course, who enjoyed themselves rather a lot.
Well, and that clapping that went on, I think it is a booking. I've got to say it's a little bit late. I mean, whether you need to do that in a pre-season friendly, I'm not sure, but catches Gundogbia. He probably dived in, slide catching quite nicely. There's any real damage. Telling off rather than booking, but that's what it is. Just thinking, I bet that would have hurt to, you know, the Atletico Madrid defeat. Think about Diego Simeone, both are probably the 2 best Argentinian managers, you know, in European football now by some distance, and I think Bielsa obviously is another one, fantastic manager. That would have hurt that 1-0 defeat to Atletico Madrid.
Yes, it's not been a great pre-season in terms of results for Tottenham at all. 2-1 defeat to Juventus, 1-0 defeat to Atletico Madrid. A few behind closed doors friendlies, including a 3-0 win against Nottingham Forest. But Spurs anxious to try and get a result today.
Yeah, and you know what, I think it's that you have to think about that and put it into context. Players, so many players coming back at so many different times, you know, Eric Lamela, all them different, very difficult to judge where they are. Good ball.
Icardi was the man who played it, looking for Banega. Up in the air from Mason. Perisic with a touch to Eva Banega. Tried to slide it through there towards Viviani. The break is stopped in its tracks by Miranda. Signed from Atletico Madrid last summer. That ball is wayward though.
Good pressure from Spurs. Good energy, led by Alli, who has got that ability. I mean, be interesting to see the sort of distance he covers. He's in his pomp, eats up the ground.
Here's Perisic. Two to pick out in the middle. They've gone for goal though. And Michel Vorm was at full stretch there. It was an incredible hit.
And Banega, really good strike. You know, you could see the keeper's reaction. I think that's not. Oh, that clipped the outside of the post. It's a fantastic effort. It's what Banega's capable of, even from a young man. He's been a very special talent, and that's why he's been brought in. Vorm was concerned.
Well, from our angle there, I thought that was in. And it was certainly one that worried Michel Vorm.
It's been a great game.
Kane picks out Lamela. Eriksen.
It's unlucky, tries to just feed it in behind D'Ambrosio for Rose. Just gets intercepted. There's a good ebb and flow to it. Of course, Spurs can sit back a little bit and play on the counter, and they're very good at that with the likes of Walker. You know, the talent of Eriksen, who can pick a pass. That man there, Alli, great energy.
Dier eventually finding Lamela. It's nice from Mason, and here's Kyle Walker. He put plenty behind that, and it was Mauricio who put his body in the way.
It's a brilliant pick out from Mason. Sees it first time, lovely way to pass. Why not take it on? Brilliant block from Mauricio. I think so. You know, for a 24-year-old, I think he's got a real future in the game, Mauricio.
He doesn't mess about. He was sent off 4 times last season.
I was about to say, that's his, you know, in discipline. If he can just keep that discipline. You've seen him even when Harry Kane sort of tried to say he was fouled in that incident. He was glaring at him. He's got to solve that anger issue, if you like.
Here's Kane, just peeling wide. D'Ambrosio though will clear it. Brozovic losing out to Kane. He's keen to impress today, clearly. Make up for lost time in pre-season in terms of match action. Alli trying to squeeze it through.
Yeah, he would be right in some of the attacking power. Good ball.
Cardi chasing, but Vorm saw the danger early.
He does really well. I mean, the man who's not playing today, Lloris, is one of the very best in world football. And I mean, there's probably a case for him being the best. I mean, he's that good. And he's sitting there on the bench, but he's a special talent. And what he does brilliantly well is sweep behind his back four.
Just one Premier League appearance for Michel Vorm last season on opening day against Manchester United. Lloris was on the bench that day. He was just recovering from a wrist injury, and then he came in and played every game after that in the top flight.
Well, you have to say, I hate to say it for Michel Vorm, but don't see that's going to change a lot. I mean, he's behind one of the, you know, the very, very best. I mean, even in the Euros, some of the saves he made were absolutely outstanding. I was at a game where they played Swansea Spurs last year. He made 2 saves at home. They were absolutely out of the very, very top draw. Kept Spurs in it. They ended up winning the game. I think it was 3-1. They were 1-0 down. He made 2 brilliant saves, stop them going 2-0 down.
Here goes Ansaldi, just in behind Lamela. Went to ground, but swept the ball away. Thrown into the middle towards D'Ambrosio. It's an easy claim though for Vorm. There are some absentees for Tottenham today. Jan Vertonghen still coming back from injury. Ankle knock sustained in training during the Euros. He'll be out for a little while more, we think. Jung-Min Song, who's away at the Olympics with South Korea in Rio, in fact scored last night as they won 8-0 against Fiji. Just managing to scrape a result there. Nasser Chadli not on this trip either, which has fueled rumours that he might be on the way to Swansea. Andre Yedlin linked with a move to Sunderland isn't here. Victor Wanyama as well. The paperwork wasn't in order for him to make the trip.
Brilliant defending from Alderweireld. Good run from Icardi down the side. He knows that he's got real pace, Alderweireld, so he's happy to get tight. It's a brilliant piece of interception from him.
Nice ball clipped towards Alli, who just helped Ansaldi on his way. The look of his reaction didn't quite agree with the referee.
I've got to say, I don't agree with it. I mean, what's there? Nothing. Doesn't it? I mean, it's a hand, but it's
something about that area of the penalty area, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
With Ansaldi involved, the referee immediately blows the whistle.
It is, you're right. But as you say, there's a nice energy about it, and both managers like the way that it's not at all like a pre-season friend. There's been in terms of, you know, there's been tackles, there's been energy. Both fullbacks on both sides of bombing forward. Good opportunity for Alli.
It was a lovely pass from Eriksen, wasn't it? Just clipped forward towards Alli, who couldn't quite control. Now Inter Milan are in if Perisic can get to it, and he does, and he scores. Ivan Perisic shows his quality once again, sparkling during the Euros, and he's looking to pick up where he left off as Inter Milan look to enter a new season.
Have a look at this touch here. This first touch is absolutely stunning, and the hit is absolute. He catches Vorm out. He shouldn't get beaten his near post, but the hit is stunning from an absolutely top draw player. I mean, he's among the very best at what he does, in my opinion. But the ball from Banega's good. The first touch is brilliant. Just takes him into an area where he's taken 2 touches of the ball and he rifles it in with his left foot. It's a stunning finish.
And just if Tottenham were thinking they were going to have everything their own way today, Ivan Perisic pops up to drive one in and to square the game off with half of the first half gone.
Well, I mean, Carter-Vickers thinks he's going to get across and gets maybe a tackle in. I mean, don't forget, Kyle Walker's bombing forward. It's an area they exposed down that left-hand side. The counter-attack, and they play it brilliantly. Carter-Vickers is making good ground, but the first touch is that good. Takes him 3 yards into the 18-yard box, or maybe 4 yards, and the finish is absolutely brilliant.
Here's Danny Rose. Tottenham look to regain their lead instantly. Nearly dribbled across the penalty area to find Harry Kane.
Yeah, good clearance from Mauricio, because it was a bit sloppy from Miranda. He sort of swung a leg at it, missed it totally.
Janssen wins a Tottenham throw. It's good to see Mauricio Pochettino bringing some of the younger players at Spurs here on this trip today. Whether we'll see them all or whether it's for experience, only time will tell. But Carter-Vickers on the ball here is one of them. The likes of Anton Walks and Luke Amos, Marcus Edwards, Harry Winks, Shane Harrison, all on the bench, along with Luke McGee, the third goalkeeper in this squad. Perisic on the charge. Vorm using his head in more ways than one. Here's Banega, who's already had one effort from distance. And Saldi whipped that over nicely. Danny Rose was a little bit careless and eventually gets a free kick thanks to the clumsiness of D'Ambrosio.
Well, I think he's very, very lucky. I don't think he can afford, unless he knows what's coming, I don't think he can afford to bring that. I think he's got to clear this. Can't take that touch there. I think, in fact, it's the other way around. I think this is definitely not a foul. And there's Vorm doing that, but I mean, he does not foul Danny Rose. Danny Rose clatters into him, he heads the ball, and it's a sloppy piece of defending. You're talking about the young players. I mean, Chris will know them brilliantly well, and now doing the same at QPR, of course. But you know, you wonder if maybe Marcus Edwards, everyone would love to see him if he gets a run out today. But maybe that's, you know, this is the proper game. There's no doubt. It'd be a wonderful one for him to compete in, because there'll be no quarter Arsenal given. It's two sides, two very good managers demand a bit of their players, and I like that.
And plenty of wily old pros on that pitch to test out any fresh faces. Alli a little too forceful on D'Ambrosio. There's a twin brother who also plays in Italy, with Bassano Virtus. The referee certainly had words with Dele Alli there and wasn't happy with the challenge or the reaction, I think.
Biani. Drifted into this right-hand side. once or twice. I haven't seen a lot of them. It's a well a foul there. I didn't think it was too much of a foul. Kondogbia, real power. I mean, that'd be an interesting athletic race, them two. Kondogbia and Dele Alli.
Cameron Carter-Vickers. Toby Alderweireld. Now Ryan Mason. Eriksen. Flicking it on to Alli. Free kick goes Tottenham's way. Not messing about today, getting on with it nice and swiftly. Mason. Now Dier. Harry Kane. Whips it on to Walker. Looking to return the favour, but Ansaldi is alive and alert.
Good little run from Harry Kane though, off the back of Ansaldi. Just starting to have an influence on the game. Good set-up ball for the goal. One or two little moments. Good shot from distance here. Just Mason brings out a leg, and then Lamela looks to almost rake down the back of his Achilles.
Lamela, another one who's been in international action this summer. A substitute in the Copa America final defeat for Argentina against Chile. He was though on duty on the Spurs pre-season tour of Australia and scored in the defeat to Juventus. 2-1. A bit short from Mason.
Yeah, good football from Tottenham to play out the back there, but just a little sloppiness from Ryan Mason there after receiving a decent pass from Carter-Vickers. Looked very confident on the ball.
Eriksen just grappled with by Ambrosio, and then the ball booted into orbit.
Oh, he'll be delighted to see that foul, Alderweireld, because he really mishits that clearance. There's a bit of an edge to this game. Oh, nice soft again. I think he knows he's giving that away. I mean, there's a little shove on his back, but a couple of decent decisions go their way. Spurs today.
Well, Tottenham unhappy that the ball was booted away, stopping the quick free kick, which they've been trying to use throughout the course of this opening half an hour. Whenever they move the ball quickly, they seem to get a bit of joy. Dele Alli here, if anything, tackled by Lamela there, running across his path.
Yeah, I think he's less than happy. A bit of a glare at him. This is an opportunity for Icardi. Once again, really good sweeping by Vorm. Look, when you do that, if you get them wrong, it's another opportunity to pass. Brozovic. Hit that. Good movement from Icardi, who looks bright.
Brozovic was one who caught the eye at the Euros as well, starting 3 of Croatia's 4 games. There have been rumours linking him with Tottenham. But there have also been rumours linking Eric Lamela with Inter Milan, and he's moved to squash those.
Because of his impact in Serie A, you know, a lot of clubs would like him, but because, as Chris Ramsey was saying, you know, he's built. I thought he was very impressive at times last year. Only 11 goals, but I think, you know, his performances were, you know, his creativity, his work ethic was excellent for the team. I think Pochettino demands that, so I think he'd be reluctant to sell him for sure.
That work ethic will be vital in the opening Premier League fixtures for Spurs. They start away to Everton, as we mentioned, their home games against Crystal Palace and Liverpool, and a trip to Stoke. It's not a nice quiet start to the Premier League season, is it? But then few will get one this year.
No, you're right. But I mean, it's away at Everton, the new manager in Ronald Koeman, and 1 or 2 acquisitions.
Perisic is going for glory, and the deflection just took a bit of pace off it for Amichevole Vorm. First London derby, by the way, is against Arsenal, of course, at the Emirates on bonfire night.
Well, I don't need you to say that, but there'll be sparks there, I'm sure. But, you know, it's interesting that everyone talked about the season they had, and I think the boys were very sensible in the studio talking about, when you look at the whole, it was a very good campaign. I mean, 6 defeats throughout 38, quite incredible. So, of course, a really disappointing end, and that'll irk Spurs fans. But they're in the Champions League, got a great chance to benefit and push the club forward in terms of where they are in world football. you know, it would not surprise me if Spurs were to qualify from their group and go on to be in the later stage of the Champions League.
Intriguing to see what happens in terms of signings as well in the coming few weeks. Transfer window open for a little while longer, of course, so we'll see if anyone else comes into the lane, and indeed if anyone leaves.
Yeah, and don't forget you've got the other, I'll call it the Arsenal scenario, if you like, and that Spurs fans might not be saying that, but I'm talking about the building of the ground, and what Arsene Wenger did in terms of that. All that's going on now. Does that have an impact? Possibly.
Here's Lamela. And we are back to Walker. And Alderweireld and now Mason. Taken on here by Eriksen. Trying to up the pace a bit towards Kane. And there's a chance for the break on. Perisic has already shown his quality, and now he's put one on a plate for Icardi, but it was running across him and he couldn't get his angles right.
Well, I talk very highly of Perisic, but once again, he breaks off the back of Kyle Walker, but he doesn't even take a touch. The weight of his pass is sublime. Carter-Vickers can't get to it. He must score. Icardi. I think he may have been offside, but he must score.
Yeah, the offside flag, if anything, sort of saving the blushes a little bit there, but we expected the net to bulge.
Brilliant ball for Perisic.
Cameron Carter-Vickers played 90 minutes against Atletico Madrid on the tour for Tottenham. Played in the under-18s team when just 15. Another dubious free kick which goes Tottenham's way.
Yeah, for me it's not. Carter-Vickers does really well initially and then delays again. Let's see, he delays. Definitely not a foul. And he's so lucky to get away with it. I mean, I like him getting on the ball, the confidence of the young man. But then this is a great game for him. I mean, the difference in level from what he's played at to now is amazing. And this is a top quality game. You know, Banega, Perisic, Icardi, top draw players. It's been a really good game for anyone who's come to see this or anyone's watching it. It's been a fascinating encounter from two sides who are at it.
And there's more football for us tonight as well. We're on ITV4. Arsenal in action against Viking. You can see that at 7:15. Another one of our pre-season offerings, and also a friendly, if you can call that, between Arsenal and Manchester City on Sunday, 5:45 ITV1. And it goes towards Brozovic, who tumbles and asks the question of the referee. Leviani just took it too far, and it's a Tottenham goal kick.
Well, I mean, is there contact between Rose and Brozovic? Yes, there is, but I don't think there's any hint of a penalty for me. I mean, it's a first-time ball again from Perisic. Brilliant. I think he knows he's wrong side, Danny Rose, but I don't think there's too much in there. Looks like there is a little tangle of legs, but his arms being wide, I mean, maybe he's a giveaway, but it's good defending from him because it didn't certainly look like a blatant penalty. And Danny ends up getting the right side of Brozovic to prevent him simple-headed into the net.
And Eriksen running away from D'Ambrosio. Kane in the middle. Eriksen just held up a little, looking for Rose. It's a lovely ball. Tried to pick out a teammate in the middle. He met Miranda, and it's a corner.
Brilliant ball from Eriksen. The awareness of him, weight to pass. I think Rose thought he maybe should have done better with it. He sees the run go by him. Shields it well. Look at the lovely little river, but the weight of it's perfect. And I think Danny thinks he maybe should have taken it first time. That's why his head's in his hands. But been some really enterprising play from Spurs.
Here's Eric Lamela with a corner. Plenty to aim at in the middle here. The man who was rising higher than everyone else was Toby Alderweireld, who normally, from that range with his heading ability, finds at least the target.
Well, I mean, particularly under Pochettino, he's done a lot of that near post run. They block off and allow him to attack that area. Didn't really get a full run. It is a bit high for him. He just can't go over the top of it. Been a fantastic signing for Spurs. Clive talked about it. I mean, arguably for me, I mean, Harry Kane's exploits, of course, but probably player of the year for Spurs. He's absolutely sensational.
Well, he was the fans' player of the year. Started every Premier League game and Scored 4 goals, including strikes against Arsenal, Manchester United and Manchester City. A man for the big occasion, it's fair to say.
Obviously. Not only has he had that, he's a good defender. Look, you see him, he's intense, but on the ball, he's very, not just good, he's brilliant on the ball.
Not so good on that occasion from Danilo D'Ambrosio. There was Alderweireld finding Cameron Carter-Vickers.
Talking about that D'Ambrosio there, I mean, it's an area that I think Mancini will be wrestling with. Three left backs and 1 right back, and D'Ambrosio hasn't really looked to drive forward or been involved in the game as much. I mean, the right side, Bibiani and him have been quiet on this right side for sure.
Carter-Vickers again. Every now and again, a stat pops out at you. His dad was selected by Denver Nuggets in the 1983 NBA draft. There you are.
Very good.
He's a USA under-23 international, Cameron Carter-Vickers.
He played with Niaza, the boy from Chelsea.
Indeed, yes, that's right.
Yeah. Well, there's obviously some sporting talent. He looks a good athlete, for sure.
Alderweireld. Plenty of room out there for Tottenham to attack here with Kyle Walker. And Saldi, though, in the way.
Something you certainly don't see enough of in the Premier League at the moment, and the ability that full-backs, what they should do is block crosses, and Saldi does it well. Gets himself in the line, gets close, doesn't allow an easy cross into the ball, into the box.
Alli to Kane, to Lamela with space, to weigh up his options and go for goal, and find the target beautifully. A moment of magic from Erik Lamela, and Tottenham have their lead back.
Well, top draw finish, and I think there'll be a big contingent over here. Can you think of the keeper, the Norwegian keeper who played for Spurs? It's a wonderful hit. No one's saving that. Erik Torsved wouldn't have saved that. And he's right in the very top draw. What a brilliant goal from Lamela.
Had that been in any other game, competitively, he would have been flying around the stadium in celebration, but pre-season perhaps means everything's a little bit muted, but still, what a terrific finish it was.
He almost looks like all the football he's had's helped him. I mean, even his face, he looks very defined, very chiselled, and he's got 2 goals already in pre-season, and that's an absolutely top draw finish. I mean, he could have had 2 keepers and not saved that. And Handanovic is a very, very good keeper. He had no chance with that.
Yes, Samir Handanovic has only missed 8 of Inter Milan's 152 Serie A games since he joined Udinese 4 years ago. He's a top-quality keeper, and rather like Hugo Lloris in the Tottenham goal on a regular basis, is incredibly difficult to displace.
He is. Now he's retired from international football for Slovenia, not qualifying. He'll probably even in better form.
Brozovic trying to thread it through to Perisic. Closed down by Dier. Very important challenge that. Inter Milan were looking menacing.
They were. Great counter-attack, sloppy giveaway initially, but they're very incisive. Inter just a little bit behind Perisic. He's got to wait for it. If that had been in front of him, I think he'd have taken it first time, but good block in the end by Dier. Important moments for these minutes before half-time.
Banega back to Ansaldi. And it goes towards D'Ambrosio. Not as far as Kondogbia. Lovely pass, wasn't it? Over it comes from Brozovic. Unfortunately, the cross didn't have the same quality that the pass did.
It may have just been a little bit overweighted. It was a good ball inside the fullback from Kondogbia after a sloppy first touch, but certainly they're very much in the game. Inter Milan nip and tuck. Every little period, 20 minutes here and there. Inter have been the better side, but you have to say probably on the whole Spurs deserve just about to be in the lead.
Almost playing themselves into a spot of bother there with Dier and Vorm. Good old-fashioned up and under for Icardi to fight for, but you don't get a lot of change out of Alderweireld in that situation. Down goes Rose. Tottenham free kick.
Clever play from Rose. Knew Dier behind him was coming. Just puts himself and draws the foul. Good moments before half-time. Wind it down another minute off the clock. Find themselves in the lead, 2-1. And he'll be pleased, I think. There's been some good stuff. A little concern at times, maybe cheap giveaways and one or two easy counter-attacking moments that maybe Inter Milan could have been back on level terms.
Brozovic playing it forward for Inter Milan, and it's Perisic who takes it in his stride, looking to pull it back for Banega. Important intervention that from Mason. D'Ambrosio. He'll get it back. He has options waiting, but he couldn't find any of them.
No, not the greatest defensive moment. Spurs still got cut apart there. Again, Perisic puts a decent, tries to cut it back. Then a lovely little 1-2. And Ambrosio does really well in the end. Pulls it into a great area. Nobody there.
And it comes again, flashing across that penalty area. Hooked clear by Eriksen. Last 90 seconds of the first half here.
It's interesting, one or two moments last year from set pieces, Spurs looked a little bit vulnerable. It's an area that Mauricio Pochettino will be working on pre-season.
Banega keeps it moving to Ansaldi. Perisic. And Brozovic lining up in the middle, but it's Danny Rose who gets in the way. Frustration for Danny Rose.
Well, it's just stupidity. What? I mean, why is he trying to wrestle a man? He doesn't need to do it. Just wait there. I mean, it is a foul. And, you know, right before half-time, Ever Banega steps across and delivers something with quality, puts you under pressure. Don't need to do that.
Will it be a costly free kick? It'll probably be the last attack of the half. It's in from Banega. And it's up and out as far as Ansaldi. It's overhit and over and out for a Tottenham goal kick, and that'll probably end the half, Ian.
It will, and it's been a really good half, full of energy and enterprise, with some outstanding performances. Perisic has been magnificent. You know, there's been some good things. Kane's been lively, it's been Dele Alli's brilliant. Mela's been forceful as well. Alderweireld looks like he's never been away. So for me, there's a lot of good things in the game.
Cleared by Vorm. Dier with a cool head to Alderweireld. For Kane. Dier again. Tottenham just happy to keep the ball now, see it out to half-time. Alderweireld. Eriksen makes the run, just didn't quite get the feet right. There we are. It's fair to say it's been a really good watch in the first half. The side separated by real moments of quality from Erik Lamela after a dubious penalty gave Tottenham the lead. And Ivan Perisic struck to level it all up. It's 2-1 to Spurs at the break. Plenty more to come in the second half.
But Alderweireld's been impressive in this first half. Spurs fans' player of the season.
Yeah, just Mr. Consistent. As I said earlier, he played every league game last season. It does look now as if there's quite a number of changes that are going to take place, and maybe I think he's been impressed with the tempo of the first half, Mauricio Pochettino, and therefore he's quite happy with the amount of work that individuals have done. So changes afoot for both teams, I feel.
Well, it looks like Janssen's coming on, Chris.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be an important game for him, you know, playing against a good team like that, and maybe Harry Kane. You know, maybe showing the signs of a long summer, and just a precautionary situation.
And Kieran Trippier and Ben Davies coming on, Clive. We saw that quite a few times last year.
We did, yeah. That seemed to be the change-up that Mauricio Pochettino had on a couple of occasions. In particular, they played or started in Europa League games on Thursday, and then Rose and Walker came back in for the Premier League games at the weekend. So it's a straight swap in terms of the position and the way that they play. It doesn't change the way that Spurs, certainly from the full-back position, attack the game.
And 2 up front, possibly. Time to rejoin Ian Dowie and David Stow for the second half.
Thank you very much indeed. This is the point in a pre-season game when the commentary box goes into meltdown as you frantically scribble names and numbers as they come onto the pitch. A host of Tottenham changes, as the guys were saying. Amongst those to come on, Ben Davies, Kieran Trippier, Harry Winks has been loitering with intent on the touchline, and here he is on the ball. And we'll tidy up all those changes for you very shortly indeed, as this second half gets underway. A second half in which we hope we see plenty more of what we saw in the first half, Ian Dow.
Yeah, I think it's just Winks has just come on for Ryan Mason by the looks of things. Eric Dyer still on, so it's just a like for like there. Obviously Dele Alli still on, Harry Kane of course. So it's going to be interesting to see.
A lot of talented youngsters in the Tottenham Hotspur system. Harry Winks is one who is highly thought of. He will sit in the middle of the park. Eric Lamela still on after that moment of magic at the end of the first half.
Yeah, I think in terms of the forward line, it's going to be like 2. It's Janssen and Kane up front, and it'll be Alli, Dier, of course, Ben and Eric Lamela across the front with Harry Winks slotting into that holding midfield for us. It's just Eriksen and Mason coming from the midfield areas, and the 2 fullbacks. So not that much of a change, a bit more of a 4-4-2. And I've seen a fair bit of Janssen at Alkmaar, and he's looked the part. He finished the season fantastically well, and we certainly see. I think Harry Kane can be a very good number 10. Actually, I know he is a number 10, but I mean, in terms of where he's playing, great touch there. Good tracking back from Harry Winks.
Perisic it was who took it well and truly in his stride. And here's Kieran Trippier, another one of the changes, who was at Manchester City as a youngster, went to Burnley in July of 2011, sold in the end by Manchester City manager Roberto Mancini. So Kieran Trippier might want to make a point today, perhaps, up against his old manager.
Yeah, but at the time, you know, you think about Zabaleta and players of that quality. He's a good ball.
Through towards Icardi, but Hugo Lloris doing exactly what Vorm did in the first half, coming out quickly to sweep up behind the defence. Ever present for France at the Euros, and he captained them to the final against Portugal, of course beaten by that 109th minute winner from Eder. Inter Milan with their own Eder, who is not here post-Euros. He will join up with the side next week.
Well, very impressive, you know, for Italy. Got an unbelievable goal against Sweden. I was live at the game, fantastic game it was. Sweden actually should have got something out of the game. And Bonucci, the centre-half, was simply just sensational for Italy. Snubbed out Ibrahimovic. So the discipline of their defending at the time was amazing. Come up with a late goal, and the celebration of Conte was something to behold for sure.
Here comes the corner, and it's flicked on over the top by Mauricio.
It's good. It's that sort of Spurs set piece, if you like, that near post run. Mauricio gets free. It's a good delivery. Just gets. He should do better. Well challenged by Alderweireld.
We just saw a shot before of Vincent Janssen, who was on the tour of Australia with Tottenham earlier in pre-season. Scored 27 goals last season in 34 appearances, but 21 of those 27 goals came after Christmas.
Yep, a new pair of boots for Christmas is what it was. But you know, he was very impressive for Alkmaar last year, and you know, I think it's a shrewd piece of business. He can play a number of different ways. Good physicality, decent pace, likes to play on the edge. You know, I think he'll cope with the Premier League very easily, I think.
Eric Lamela going in with intent to win the ball, but the referee not happy with the challenge, whether it was too forceful or too-footed, perhaps, the referee might have thought there.
Well, I think there's one or two strange decisions from the referee. I don't think really there's any foul there. maybe talk about the aggression in the challenge initially, but it's not certainly going to hurt anyone.
Banega trying to control that, trying to do the Blanco from a few years ago in the World Cup, the Mexican winger.
Never got involved in them trips when I played. Just enough chance to control it.
Here comes the cross, which is blocked for a corner.
I think they're blessed in lots of ways. I mean, I think Ben Davies is a very, very good fullback. You know, you can play obviously centre half, the three if you want to flip to that. Also being caught out a bit naive here, Spurs.
And it comes towards D'Ambrosio, away by Harry Kane. And Saldi keeps the pressure on. It's a delicious cross in. Alderweireld with a header and Lloris making it look simple. And for a keeper of his quality it was.
Sloppy piece of play there. Carter-Vickers tried to shape a ball into Harry Kane. Good pressure from Kondogbia.
Banega did well to keep the ball until Lamela finally nicked it off him and then grabbed the arm of Ansaldi. Trippier with a challenge on Perisic.
He's probably got a little bit more physicality, Kyle Walker, but you know, Kieran Trippier, good pace and a good delivery into the box.
And that's a battle for the ball, isn't it, between Miranda and Janssen. Here's the Dutchman again towards Harry Kane. It'll be a Tottenham ball.
Good little link up there though. He looked up, spotted Harry Kane's run. Good ball as well.
Trippier's throw to Lamela. Janssen trying to juggle and then slip it through to Kane. Here's Dele Alli. Janssen back to Alli. Lovely goal. That's a picture book goal from Tottenham. Once again, when Tottenham and Inter meet, the goals just keep on flowing. And the lead is extended to 3-1.
Oh, it's a lovely little incident play by Janssen and Dele Alli, but the finish from Alli is absolute. Now I look at it, it maybe looks like he waves a hand at Handanovic, but I thought it went right in the corner. I'm not so sure it does, but it's a really good contact from Dele Alli. I think on first viewing, Handanovic maybe should get a hand to it. It looks like he waves a hand over the top of the ball, but he just keeps doing this, Dele Alli, popping up the goals. I mean, people talk about Frank Lampard, you know, and Dele Alli's a totally different player, but they've got the same finishing style. They rarely miss. He's got unbelievable power from such a short backlift. He just generates that. He makes it look simple. Well, that's 17, 18 yards out. It fires into the net like.
A year ago, he made his first start for Tottenham. Now they wouldn't start without him. Perisic. Inter Milan could do with hitting back rather swiftly if they are to try and make a real contest of this in terms of the scoreline. Harry Kane held by Kondogbia. Janssen with a major part in that goal. There's Lamela as well to keep it alive.
You know, last year defensively, you know, you've got to say Inter weren't bad. Goal a game, 38 goals conceded, but you know, it's an area that, you know, don't forget, I think Juve were about 23 or something, so, or 21 was it, but anyway, they were way behind, so it's an area that is a little bit of concern. There's very little we can do with that apart from track your runner. Someone lets Dele Alli run, a little lovely cushioned side foot from Janssen, but the finish is unerring.
Away by Lloris. Mauricio wins it back. Trying to spin away. It's helped out by Banega. Here's Brozovic. Now Eric Dier for Tottenham. This brings the curtain down on Tottenham's pre-season today, whereas Inter Milan have a couple more games still to play. Miranda rather hacks at Janssen.
Well, it's a different set of circumstances. He's very powerful. I mean, it's a really rash challenge. I mean, that's a really poor challenge. It should be a booking. He's saying he grabbed his shirt, but he won't brush Janssen off. He won't be. I've seen him more than that, 4 or 5 times. He's a lad who's very much up for that physical battle. He's really good at holding play up, you know, linking in the midfield to the forwards.
Here's Kane. Alli to Trippier. 4 to pick out in the middle, and there's Harry Kane! And then Lamela! Cheeky. Very nearly special from him again. Tottenham going close to extending that lead further.
Great ball in from Trippier. I think Kane would think he should score. I mean, almost looked casual, didn't it, from Lamela? Like it didn't matter. I think he could have adjusted his feet, maybe. Could have hooked, you know, maybe an overhead kick or something. But great ball from Trippier. Started really well, Spurs.
And that would have really topped it off if that had flown into the back of the net from Erik Lamela in that kind of fashion. Looks like Harry Kane is enjoying himself out there, which is ominous for the other Premier League sides who may be watching on today. Here's Perisic.
Talked about goals, you can flow to the game. Already got 4 goals in the game. Both sides are concentrating on attacking. Some of the defending hasn't been of the highest quality, but
Saudi just fended off there by Carter-Vickers.
He did. Some of the attacking plays have been really good. And the last goal from Spurs is very, very good. And you think about, of course, Lamela's goal, got some stopping. So this is Perisic. I suppose in terms of that, stop against defending maybe for the penalty. Some sensational goals.
There's Brozovic as Inter Milan look try and get themselves back into the game. Banega again on hand. Cardi tried to find him, but it's now with Harry Kane and now with Dele Alli. Lamela. Kane has moved forward well. Lamela's found him, just behind him though the pass. And there's Kane! It's another stunner. It's a 4th for Tottenham Hotspur. And they are revelling in the Norwegian sunshine.
Well, it's a great counter-attack. Lovely little way to pass from Alli into Lamela. I think Lamela's a bit behind him. But you know what Harry Kane does so well? He just moves it and hits it. And he's brilliant at that. No back. If you have a look, he just shifts it a yard. Mauricio doesn't try to block it. He should do better, Mauricio. But it's past Handanovic in a flash. He hits it so hard. Great finish from Harry Kane.
It's turning out to be the perfect day for Tottenham Hotspur. Many of their regular names returning. And Harry Kane back in the goal-scoring habit ahead of the Barclays Premier League kick-off next weekend.
I have to say the reaction of Roberto Mancini told you he was very unhappy with the manner of defending. Mauriccio's got to do better there, more of a block. There's Bibiani there down the left-hand side, right-hand side well. He's been poor today. Bibiani really poor.
There are some players on that pitch who look well and truly up for this, and some who don't.
Well, this is worrying for Inter. You know, they're getting a bit of a hiding here, and this is like 4v4 here, flooding on the far side. Chance bodies committed forward for Spurs, and Spurs, when they're on their game, are difficult to stop.
Lamela. I'm sure that Mauricio Pochettino will be delighted to see Harry Kane scoring there from the number 10 role, rather than being the focal number 9, if you like, with Janssen now on the pitch as well.
Yeah, well, of course, when Dele Alli plays it, you've really got, you know, natural sort of goal scoring there, but he's a different type of player, much more physical, Harry Kane. They're running right here, Spurs.
Lamela to Trippier. Might just go for one here, instead he feeds Janssen. There's plenty of power on that from Harry Winks. Not quite the accuracy to match.
And I think when you see Janssen, he tries to manipulate things. He's trying to get to see on his left foot here. Got a really strong left foot. He gets that left foot going. It's difficult to stop. See him smash some goals into that left foot. Here comes the changes for Inter.
They resisted the temptation to change too much at half-time, but clearly Roberto Mancini unhappy with what he's seen at the start of the second half. So Eriksen is going to come on in place of Christian and Saldi. It's a straight swap at left back. Eriksen, one of the new signings from Fenerbahce. Felipe Melo also joining the action. To Nagatomo. Will try and bolster the defence.
He's a very reliable player, Nagatomo, always give you a certain level. So I'm a little bit surprised that man stayed on.
Here's Kane from a poor pass by Bibiani. Alli to Lamela. Now Trippier. Into Janssen. Good strength from him to Lamela. Not quite the return ball that Janssen wanted.
Yeah, but he's posed a whole different set of problems for the back players. Mauricio and particularly Miranda haven't looked comfortable with him. He's done very well.
Of course, these two sides want to avoid what has happened to Mohamed Besic of Everton. He played in the Wayne Rooney testimonial the other night at Old Trafford and looks to be out now for 6 months with a nasty-looking injury. Season over for him in some ways before it's even begun.
Yeah, and it's terrible news, you know. I think Besic's a very important player. You know, settling in, got a couple of injuries last year, but looked very effective at times. No, a big favourite with the Everton fans, but huge blow to Ronald Koeman, of course. Just again, I suppose, his way of, you know, but that was before that, obviously, but such a shame.
Alli was caught late there, that'll be a yellow card. Felipe Melo has been on the pitch for 2 minutes and is straight into the book.
He loves the booking, I'm sure. Felipe Melo. Real challenge. And frustration, I'm sure. You know, you've got to be careful they don't lose their discipline here. You know, from Inter being very much in the game in the first half, where they probably were a little bit unfortunate to be behind. Now it looks like it's one-way traffic with them. Rightly, I think rightly so. We don't need to make, you know, this is going to get a bit edgy. The best player, and he probably is the best player, alongside Alderweireld for me.
Well, that is an ideal day for Harry Kane in many ways. He's played an hour, he's got 2 goals under his belt, trying to banish the Blues from the Euros. And he's certainly done that today. And you can now watch the final half an hour from the comfort of the dugout. Replaced by Tom Carroll. There might well now be a little shuffle around in positions in that front 4 for Tottenham.
So maybe Lamela's gone a bit more centrally. Tom Carroll's good ball.
It's Trippier who's on to the end of this here. Trying to pick out a white shirt, it's nodded away by Miranda.
Really good ball by young Harry Winks. Picks out Trippier. Enjoying themselves now. Spurs, well, there's an offside there, but they're popping it about well. Good confidence boost, without doubt. Just caught a glimpse of young Marcus Edwards there, the 40 out. I wonder if we'd see him. Other people talk very highly of him. I had a chat with John McDermott about him a few months ago. And Chris was speaking very highly of him, so when people work with him firsthand and speak that highly, there must be something special there.
Yes, he's London-born, 17 years of age, played half an hour against Juventus in one of the pre-season games for Tottenham so far. That's a real talent. I was talking before about the fact that Inter Milan still have 2 more friendlies to go, one against Borussia Mönchengladbach of Germany, one against Celtic. Both of those happening next week. Inter Milan starting their season away to Chievo in 2 weeks' time, then they host Palermo, then there's a trip to Pescara, and then it gets complicated as they welcome champions Juventus to the San Siro.
Will they be with or without Pogba?
Plenty could change in personnel for a lot of European clubs between now and the 3rd or 4th game of the season.
He's looked good, Janssen, really good. And he's linked play really well. Happy with one touch, happy to drag the ball in. It's a different. Harry Kane's a much more runner in behind. He gives you a platform to play off.
Look at Tottenham again, Alli again, it's 2 towards Janssen who tucks it in. The referee let the game go, and Vincent Janssen notches his first Tottenham goal. That's what they paid the money for.
Well, their discipline's totally gone here. I mean, that's a really poor challenge from Miranda. Got to say, Spurs up to finish, and he's on the move, which is a good thing. And here's a poor challenge from Miranda. But Janssen's onto it. Brilliant play from the referee. Let's advantage, and Janssen will be delighted with that finish.
Scoring goals is what he does best. Spurs fans will hope that's the first of many.
Well, if you're ever going to get an opportunity to have a couple of them young boys, now's the time. I mean, it's been a capitulation from Inter. I mean, and very unlike any Mancini side, he'll be bitterly disappointed, for sure. He's that type of manager. He wears his heart on his sleeve. He'll be furious with some of the defending. And, you know, experienced players like Miranda, he's lost his discipline. He's had a kick out at Janssen because he grudged his shirt. Then he just goes to the ground there with a ridiculous scissors challenge. And in the end, Janssen runs in behind him, taps it in.
Cardi is on the chase. Carter-Vickers there just grabbed the arm. Maybe the referee didn't see, and it's incensed Icardi.
Well, I think he might be getting to the ball, if I'm honest. I think he may well just get there before Lloris, and he does. I mean, it's quite a clever little blindside pull on the shirt by Carter-Vickers. He gets away with it. You know, whatever level of management you're at, but if you're manager of the Nerazzurri, you know, if it'd been the other way around, the same as for Pochettino, they just don't, the things you don't need to happen pre-season. All right, they're still 2 weeks out, and there's nothing's won or lost. But you don't really want to be put asunder. And, you know, it's not looking like the goal scoring may end. They look like capable of scoring it every time they go forward. And that is not what Mancini's sides are about, or really an Inter side's about. We've seen the brilliance of the Inter side that beat Barcelona and Mourinho, the brilliance of the tactical discipline of the side. We've seen none of that second half.
This result, however large the scoreline is at the end of this 90 minutes, will add on to a 3-1 defeat against Paris Saint-Germain, where Inter Milan's goal was a penalty, a 4-1 defeat against Bayern Munich. And the only bright points really in terms of results for Inter Milan: a 2-1 win against Real Salt Lake, which they won in injury time, and a draw against Estudiantes.
Well, the draw to Estudiantes would have been a good draw, but, you know, I mean, I think Julian Green certainly showed the way against another one of them talents from Bayern Munich. But to be fair, second half they've been very at it. Janssen's made a real impact for me. You know, all of a sudden now there's a belief that when that ball goes forward, I'm not saying there wasn't with Harry Kane there, of course he's very good at it too, in a different way, but they know if they pop the ball forward it's going to stick, almost like Velcro, so they can make runs. And when you get midfielders making runs and other midfield players don't track them, you get opportunities. Been very impressive second half Spurs. I mean, Inter Milan, I've got to say, have dropped off 3 or 4 gears in my opinion, but nonetheless Spurs have been excellent.
These games often come down to attitude, don't they? And this is where the attitude has to be right for Inter Milan, or it could get really embarrassing. Janssen with a lovely touch and layoff. Dele Alli's pass finds Lamela. It's not quite the cross he was looking for, and it's Samir Handanovic with the first really comfortable moment in the game for him. And we have just got into the 69th minute.
Incredible. But even there's a hopeful ball forward. All of a sudden, boom. It's on Janssen's chest, he links play, gets it out to Alli's on the move, and they're breaking.
Certainly offers something very different for Tottenham this season. Here's Eriksen, which is easily nodded away about, not quite convincingly perhaps, but the shot over the top was wild anyway from Icardi.
We haven't seen enough of him, he just hasn't had enough of the ball second half, but there's no doubt he's a very, very good striker, sets it well. Do you know what you've got to do? One thing about presences, keepers in goal. Lloris, you know you've got to find the corner if you're going to score. You know, and as a result, you try and a bit more pace, bit more power, trying to really get it that half an inch inside the post, and as a result, you get it wrong. And that's what big keepers do, the Schmeichels, you know, at the times. Lloris is certainly one of them. Neuer, De Gea, the top draw keepers in world football. Got to say, Patricio for Portugal is very good in the Euros.
Dier wins the ball back and then is hauled to the ground. And as Tottenham have hit 5 goals, it seems fitting to mention the Norwegians that they've had on their books, considering we're in Oslo for this one today. 5 Norwegians on their books during the past. We'll give you a few minutes to see how many you can come up with.
I've got one, Everson.
There we are, there's one. 4 more to go. Get your pen and paper handy. We've got well, we've got 20 minutes of the game left. See how many you can get.
Torsfeld was a Norwegian.
There we are, there's 2.
2.
You're spoiling it for everyone else now, you know.
I'll stop there then. No, just thinking there is a huge following for Spurs out here. I mean, I know they have got a big Scandinavian following, but particularly Norway because of that scenario.
Eriksen to Icardi. Dier quickly into the challenge, so was Lamela. Trippier to Eric Dier. Lamela up towards Janssen. And back by Harry Winks. Janssen just caught there. The referee, though, having to play advantage here, and Toby Alderweireld will bring it out. Now Lamela. Trippier well forward. Options here including Carroll. He picks out Trippier. He's looking for Janssen, who went down.
Now again, just Trippier's quality he's got. It's a good ball into the box. Not sure there isn't a little tug on Janssen, but maybe you put it down as good defending. Yeah, I think there is a little tug. He does it blindside the referee again, but Janssen on the move. Once again, Spurs impressing. You know, for me, if I was Pochettino, I might drag Alderweireld off. I think he's such an important player. And that's not meant he hasn't. He's been. I'm not saying he's not been good. He's been brilliant today, but you know, one of them players you can't afford in a challenge or something to get an injury. Be a huge blow to the season for them.
He waits in the middle to see if this cross comes in from Inter Milan. It does, and it's nodded wide. A decent opening in the end for Biabiani.
Well, I mean, if there's one Achilles heel about Kieran Trippier, that's it. He just doesn't see him. His body shape's closed. He gets inside him. Biabiani should do better. Might be a little bit high for him. Trippier holds his hand up, but in a Premier League game that can cost you.
And Dier. Looks like he's going to be an important driving force for Inter Milan in the midfield this season, though he hasn't really been able to get going today too much. Hasn't had that much support from his fellow teammates. Eriksen back to Jonathan Biabiani. Eric Lamela sliding in for effect, I think, there.
Good feet from Jovetic, so.
He waits for the ball in the middle, nearly got it. Cameron Carter-Vickers beat him to it. Biabiani. Shot is charged down. Janssen looks to spread the play. Looks impressive, it's fair to say. Lamela. Plenty of options in Tottenham white here. He actually picks one out with a nice piece of skill. Maybe complicated it too much, though, in the end.
He does overcomplicate. He's got to just find Janssen again with a switch of play. But brilliant play initially from Janssen. And a great run from Lamela. Looks full of confidence. Not surprised after them goals.
Another free kick given away, this time by Mauricio. Not an awful lot in that. Tottenham on with it quickly. Alli waiting. Here he is. Lamela. As you can see, more substitutions on the way. Carroll. Nice pass to Janssen, who just went a little too soon. So some more changes coming here, including Shane Harrison, who's going to come on for Tottenham Hotspur. The end of the game for Mauricio, who will be replaced by Elogiao. Addy is going off as well. Ranocchia is going to come on. This will be the last major shuffle of the pack from Inter Milan. And a chance for Shane Harrison to come on for Tottenham. Turned 19 during the summer. Got half an hour against Juventus. Now he's going to come on and get 15 minutes against Inter Milan, and a chance for him maybe to get on the score sheet. Dele Alli, the man to go off. Encouraging 75 minutes on his return to match action for Tottenham, and a big moment for Shane Harrison.
Absolutely, a very big moment for him. I mean, the game's won, he can enjoy himself and express himself. So he's coming up against a new centre-back partnership. He's been less than impressive today, you have to say. And I'm a great admirer of Miranda, but he's not been on his mettle today, and neither has Mauricio.
Here is Harrison. Davies to Dier. Spreads it for Trippier. He rinks to Alderweireld. Felipe Melo. I haven't seen very much of in this game, just the yellow card that happened moments after he came on. He's gone a bit quiet since.
I think Eriksen's a decent player. I know he's got a lot of left-backs. There's Janssen's strength again. Powerful man.
Lovely work from him. Harrison is forward, so is Lamela. Chance for another one to Tottenham here, and it's Harrison. It's a lovely moment for him. Unselfish from Lamela. And it is a rout. Tottenham are rampant. It is 6-1.
It's that man again, Janssen, just too strong. You know, you can't. He's one of them lads physically so strong. He brushed off the ball, lovely way to pass, and brilliant from Lamela. He's been very good all game. He probably thinks that's easy of a game. Young Harrison, lovely way to pass from Janssen, brilliant play from Lamela. Good for him. Remember this for a long, long time. Been a good day all round for Spurs. Perfect.
That will stay with him for a long, long time. Shane Harrison scores for the Tottenham first team. Tottenham's first team have looked first class today. Inter Milan might be a little bit worried about the season ahead. Maybe Mancini might end up getting the checkbook out, perhaps.
Yeah, probably. I mean, he did it an awful lot last year. I mean, it was a great cross-field ball by Eriksen. I think they say he's going to... I mean, Mancini won't mess about. He'll get players he knows who can defend. And he's got some talent in the side. You know, Cardi particularly, we've seen Perisic, still got a lot of quality in the side. They'll be, I would be amazed if they're not in and around the shake-up and a trifle closer than they were last year, because it's far too far to be away. 23 points.
And Harrison, for Inter Milan here, is there are still 12 minutes to go.
Well, I mean, in these type of games, you know, at 4, you know you're not going to win the game. You've got to get everyone together. You want your captain to make sure a bit of discipline, keep your shape. You know, if they carry on committing bodies forward, if it finishes 6-2, it's not a better result than 6-1 really. In terms of for a side of Inter Milan standing.
Bit clumsy that from Eric Lamela. Yellow card goes his way, which he's not best pleased with.
He slides in. Well, I think it is a yellow card. Plays it with his knee in the end, watch. Definitely does. A stupid challenge to make. But he's been very good today. Big season ahead, I think, for Lamela.
So in comes the free kick. It's easily dealt with. It's another poor set piece from Inter Milan. Viviani. Tomo's cross in. Knocked away by Alderweireld. Harry Winks there to help out. And Shane Harrison too.
This is one of them results if you're Mancini, that his nature, it would just be bubbling away, it would be boiling, you know, when he gets in the dressing room. But, you know, I think 2 weeks out from the start of the season, he's got to just take stock and relax a little bit. You know, it's difficult to do when you're in the heat of get on the end of a 6-1 defeat. Very damaging. He knows what that means for the club he's at. Just need to, you know, take 10 minutes, go and watch a video, and then go address it tomorrow. So it always seems a lot clearer after the morning after. Easier said than done. Looks like we might even get a little glimpse of Marcus Edwards, which would be lovely.
Yeah, this scoreline means that Inter Milan will have conceded 13 goals in their 3 highest profile pre-season friendlies. They only scored 3. Tottenham want more here. Carroll. Now Trippier. It's not the best cross in, but it does give us the chance to tell you about a few things coming up for you football-wise on ITV. Highlights of the Super Cup between Real Madrid and Sevilla on Tuesday, 10:40 on ITV. And then the playoff highlights in the Champions League, August the 17th, 10:40 on ITV, including Manchester City, Celtic and Dundalk. And we've had their Champions League draw today. Make sure you join us for all of that here on ITV. And now, maybe a glimpse into the future. Marcus Edwards comes on for the final 9 minutes of this game to show what he can do in Tottenham colours. Highly thought of, just 17 years of age, London born and bred. Jovetic has barely had a touch since coming on. Doing his best to try and make something happen, but too much on the ball to Biabiani.
Yeah, it's unlucky, trying to lift it. I think he's come off a bit hot. A decent season last year, Jovetic, 7 goals in, something like that. So I think he's a talented individual, no doubt. And you know, you look within the squad of Inter Milan, they've got a lot of talented individuals. But for me, the team effort today has been very unlike a Mancini side. He'll be absolutely furious. Spurs have been very good.
Antonio Candreva is the major signing for Inter Milan this summer. Just signed earlier this week and selected squad number 87. Around about 25 million euros. I wonder what he's thinking looking at this right now.
Well, I tell you, it's a good piece of business. You know, Candreva's, I mean, for large parts of Conte's Euro campaign, he was probably their best player, very effective. You know, I think I'm a little bit surprised they got him good value. I think for 25 million from, that sounds, from Lazio. It's a big signing, and they've been quite quiet in the market this year, unlike last. But Candreva will be a proper player for them. I mean, not in the shape to travel yet, but when he gets fit, he'll make a huge difference.
Forward by Dier, it's a lovely pass to Trippier. Janssen waits for the cross. Trippier just asking the question of handball.
Both fullbacks give you that. Trippier done it, did it at Burnley, he's doing it at Spurs, breaks forward. I think you can never get a handball for that. But it's a good run in behind Biabiani. He's been impressive, Trippier.
Certainly hit the arm, didn't it? But the arm wasn't raised in any way, so it would have been a crazy penalty. Mind you, we saw one of those in the first half, so you never know in pre-season. Certainly helped Tottenham along their way. They've done the rest themselves. Corner headed away.
Great confidence from the young man. Marcus Edwards taking it. It's not his best delivery. But over there to take it. Responsibility. It's good that he's happy to take it.
Another change for Tottenham. It's the end of the day for Eric Dier. And another Tottenham youngster gets an opportunity. Amos. Now to come on. He's 19 years of age, can play in midfield, can play at centre-half, can also play at full-back. Just going to slot into the middle of the park. And this really does underline how good the day has been for Mauricio Pochettino, to give the returning players some minutes and to give these youngsters a sample of what it's like playing in the first team, travelling with the first team, and indeed taking on a side who we certainly expected more from.
Yeah, we did, and I think with the first half we've seen that was a very close contest, and you know, it's wonderful. You think about, you know, Carter-Vickers, he spent, you know, the whole game alongside Alderweireld, can only learn from that experience. You know, he's one of the, I think, one of the preeminent centre-halves in world football now. I think he's at that level. He looks outstanding, so to play alongside him, been good. You know, those young lads playing us alongside, you know, behind Janssen, with Alli, without Alli, you know, with Kane, without Kane. It's important little moments that just you see what Dele Alli brings, his energy, his commitment, his edge. Oh, wonderful skill.
Edwards, beautifully done. Really carved open Inter Milan once again.
A bit like Chris Swaddle on that left-hand side there, drifted past him like this nice, lovely little Lego. Look, beautiful skill, a little drag.
Want to take him quickly. Ben Davies, one of the Welsh heroes from the Euros, trying to make something of it. Alderweireld, who looks like he's going to complete the 90 minutes here today. Here comes the cross, it's towards Janssen, it's nodded away unconvincingly by Yao. Janssen again, just showing a bit too much of it.
First thing he's done wrong today, tries to shift it onto that left foot, which is very effective.
For the future and the present, only 22 years of age.
We've seen a lot of the big sides do that. I mean, Man City have gone bought some young centre forward and younger players. It's very important, you know, you get value for years to come.
Here's Davies. Trying to find Luke Amos. Tottenham have a player down. It's Marcus Edwards who's gone to ground and stayed there. He looks in some distress. Looks like the shoulder here, whether it's the landing or the initial challenge.
Oh yeah, it's just opened it up a little bit, that shoulder. Hopefully that's nothing too bad. Didn't look like it, just like it jarred it, but they're awkward sometimes. Just didn't, his arm didn't slip on the floor, it just sort of stayed there. It'd be a shame if there is an injury to a young man. I mean, that'd be sort of put a bit of a blot on the copybook, but other than that, looks like he's okay. He's got a bright start. And at the moment we've seen his potential. He only drifted past experienced defender there.
When you're a teenager playing for your club against Inter Milan in a pre-season game, it would be a serious injury to take you off, wouldn't it? You wouldn't want to leave with just a knock. Here's Jovetic. Landed on the ball, wanted a free kick he was never really going to get. Eriksen with a cross, trying to trouble Lloris. He certainly provoked a reaction from the French keeper. Trippier, Jovetic. He's tried to dink it through. Janssen plays an unconventional 1-2.
Yeah, a bit lucky to get away with that. And young Amos tried to play on the hurry up. Just see the game out now, being very impressive. Things couldn't have gone any better, no injuries. Carey came with a couple of goals. Janssen gets himself a goal, you know, even with his good ball in.
That's what's been missing from Inter Milan really today, that ball into the penalty area to really make Tottenham think.
You know, even for Janssen to get his goal, you know, the fee they pay for him still comes with a little bit of pressure.
Goes Janssen.
but I think that's D'Ambrosio's trying to track him. I mean, he's all action, Janssen, and they have to block him, and it is a foul. He doesn't stand still for very long. He's physical. He's not he's not a giant of a man, but he's that robust, thick set.
We talked about 5 Norwegians, by the way, for Tottenham. Erik Thorstvedt, Espen Bardsen, Øyvind Leonardsen, Stefan Iversen, and Frode Grodås. 3 goalkeepers in those 5, by the way. Bit of a Tottenham teaser for you in pre-season. Well, I don't know if you got all of those. Tottenham only had 5 goals when we set you that one. Harrison trying to make something happen. We're into added time. Janssen going for another.
On his weaker right foot, it's a good effort. He hits the stanchion behind it. Brushy, he's got his real strength on the ball. It's very difficult to shrug off. It's good effort. His weaker foot. I mean, Handanovic, I wonder what's hitting. He won't be best pleased. What a boost ahead of a seriously tough trip to Ronald Koeman's Everton next week.
The perfect end to pre-season, an emphatic win with plenty of goals, including some beauties. Analysis to come, but Tottenham have won here by 6 goals to 1.
E mi torna ancora in mente